All right, so yeah, so let's start. Um, First of all, welcome. Thanks for joining our first live stream. And this is Ben, and I'm going to introduce T-PAEX and the relevant information to you. And yeah, let's begin. So for today's live stream, there's two major contents. First is I will introduce who we are. Second, I will go in deep about the functionality of the Apex. And the last session will be an Q&A session. So you can raise any question you want to ask me, and I will try my best to answer you during the session. So first, who are we? So here's the timeline T for T-Apex design. We have our first prototype in 2023 October. And then we spend 3 months and we have our first prototype with the industry design. And during that period, we also established the test environment for the functionalities and the reliabilities. In April 2024, after carefully testing and progressing, we start our beta test of T-Apex. And we end the beta test by end of June. And for this program, we have more than 35 beta testers, and major from US and Europe. In July, we launched our official online website, mytpaex.com. Until now, we have successfully served over 200 customers and across more than 10 different sports. And we have covered more than 22 states in USA and 8 major countries in Europe. For the sports, we have covered the traditional track and field like sprinting, long jumping, hurdling, and also some ball sports like basketball, football, soccer ball, etc. And also recently we jump in the swimming industry, which is quite promising for us. Yeah. So for the second part is the T-Apex product introductions. So in this session, I will introduce the all functionalities for T-Apex. First is the spec sheet of T-Apex. So T-Apex is an portable resistance training device, and it can give you a resistance from 0 to 20 kilograms. And then the maximum retracting speed with the overspeed accessory can be 14 meters per second. The maximum resistance with the overload accessory can be 40 kilograms. And many people ask like how long the cord is. So the cord is 120 meters. And the cable we use is 2 millimeters diameters, which has a load capacity of more than 300 kilograms. The machine is around 22 kilograms, and we use Bluetooth to transmit the data. So for every package, you will receive a tablet installed with our app. You can also download the APK of the app from our website. We will regularly upload the app on our website. So if you have any Android tablet, you can install it on your own tablet. And the battery is a lithium battery. It's an independent module. You can remove it from the device, which means you can fly with it. It is air approved. And for the water and dust proof level, it is IP55, which means you can use the water jet to jet the device in 330 degrees. For the T-Apex structures, um, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. It is in our user menu, but we have an user control panel on our device as well. So if you don't have the tablet with you, you can simply use the control panel on the device to access all the functions you want and build your training sessions. So on the control panels on the right side, it indicates the battery levels, the resistance levels, and also different modes, 1, 2, 3, 4, which indicates normal, isotonic, overspeed, and calibration. The knob, you can use it to rotate to change the number and also to press it to change the mode. And recovery button, start and off, and on and off. And underneath, the number 10 is the battery compartment. So to remove that, you need to remove the two screws on that, and you can just take it out when you fly with that. You can take the battery as your handbag and check out the other one as a check bag during the flight. Yeah, and next page. So for the T-PAEX functions, we have 4 different modes. The normal mode is designed for a single direction training or resist training, mainly for track and field, like sprinting, long jumping, hurdling, so anything single direction. So you will receive resistance based on that. For the second mode, it is isotonic mode, which we designed it for a bi-directional training, like change of direction training, acceleration, deceleration training, etc. So majorly for like sports like football, basketball, soccer, who the athletes needs a lot of change of directions, acceleration, deceleration movement. You can use this mode to train. This mode allows you to independently change the resistance and assistance. So basically different way. The third mode is the overspeed mode. So you can use that for any overspeed training or assistance training. So you can control the speed you want to achieve and also the assistance you want to receive. The fourth mode is the calibration mode, which is just designed for set up the 0 point and also to recheck all the cable back into the device after the training. So here is the real-time control panel on the tablet of our app. So on the top, you can select different data you want to see, like velocity, acceleration, force, and power. And then underneath, there's 2 big box, red and blue. So the first one is the real-time speed or real-time anything, like real-time acceleration, real-time force, or real-time power, depending on which section you are selecting. So these numbers keep changing during your training. So if you are doing something like A skip or B skip, you can monitor these numbers during the training sessions. So it's constantly changed during the session. The speed range gives the minimum and the maximum. So for a single direction training, it's always from 0 to the maximum speed. The time to speed indicate like how much time you taken to achieve your maximum speed. And distance to the peak is how far you are using to achieve your peak speed. And number 5, 6, 7, 8 is the functional box list. So number 5 is the accessory selection. So if you're doing, for example, overspeed settings or overload settings, you need to change that from none to overspeed or overload. The number 6 is just a tag selection. So currently we just have running, swimming. So it is for those coach who have multiple sports to coach, so they can use the tag to make sure the data doesn't mix up, and you can easily to find all this data. Number 7 is a user selection. So for this list, you can easily to select different people. So for example, if you have a group of 6 people, you can easily change different people and save the data to under their name easily from selecting the number under this list. Number 8 is a quick access to the report during the session. So yeah. And on the right side it is the parameter input section. So the first, you can select different mode. And second, the training distance, which indicate like uh, how far you want the tablet to record data. For example, if you only want to see 20 meters data, so you can put 20 meters there. So it will only record the first 20 meters. It helps you to make all the data at the same length. And the third part is the resistance or the assistant and all the rest, depending on different mode, it will slightly change. So I will go in deep when I'm talking about the different modes. So first is the normal mode. For the normal mode, you're allowed to change first, as I said, the training distance is optional. So if you don't want to use that, you don't use that. The limit is from 0 to 100 meters. Second is the resistance. You can input from 0 to 20 kilograms. And we also have different metrics like pounds. So you can set it in the settings so you can change to pound. The rack speed is the recovery speed of the cable after each drills. The preset is 1 meter per second. So if you have a larger group, like 8 or 10 people, so you want the cable coming back faster, you can adjust the speed. But we don't recommend it. You use any speed over 2 meter per second. And the fourth is the advanced settings. So for the normal mode, we have an advanced settings, like the advanced training session, like all various resistance training. So we allowed you to change the resistance based on either speed or distance. So for example, if we want to do something like start off training plus a transition training, you want a larger load at the beginning and then decrease to like 3 or 4 kilograms when you do the full sprint. You can use this mode. So you're allowed to set up a velocity threshold or a distance threshold. And then you can set up the resistance you want to change to. So the image shows like around 1.2 seconds. I think that point is around 3 meters. And then it goes down to the second resistance you set. Okay, so the second mode, isotonic mode. This one is quite simple. So for this mode, you are allowed to independently change the resistance and the assistance. So depending on which way you are going. So mainly it is used for the agility trainings, change of directions, all this stuff. So yeah, it's quite simple. So for the third mode, the overspeed mode, this one is a little bit complicated. So remember, our device itself can only provide a retracting speed of 7 meters per second. So we will need an extra component, which we call overspeed kit, to double the speed up to 14 meters per second for the track and field people, right? For swimming, 7 meters per second is quite enough. And here is a setup for the overspeed kit. As I would suggest, like you can screenshot this one because it is a quite simple setup guidelines for you. When you set up this one, you have the T-PAEX. Place the T-PAEX first, and then you set up to mode 4 to calibrate and calibrate a 10 meter or 5 meters, depending on what you are or the speed you want to achieve. And then the 10 meter is where you put the pulley is. And then you place your actual wheel. There's a calculations of where you put your actual wheel, which should be your training distance. For example, if you want to training at 30 meters overspeed training, so it will be 30 divided by 2 plus 15, which will be 30 meters. And then you pull out the cable from the extra wheel and then got an ending point, which is 5 meters away from the pulley. And then you fix the extra wheel and you set up everything, all the settings like the speed assistance, and then you can let your athletes to go to the starting point and then start the training. So I will leave this screen for a few seconds for you to screenshot it. Okay, so let's move on to the software part. So for the oral speed training, we got three different parameters you need to input. First, it's the towing factor. The towing factor allows you to control the acceleration of the device. We'll go in deep next for the next page. Second is the assistance. So the assistance is means like the maximum assistance you can receive during the session. So you can, if you are first to use that, you can put a little bit lower for safety factor, for example, 10 kilograms or 8 kilograms. So the maximum assistance you can receive during the session is 8 kilograms. And the react speed is the towing speed, so the speed you want to achieve. So for this process, what we recommended is you can use the normal mode with a 3 kilograms resistance to test your maximum speed. And then you go back to the overspeed settings and do not exceed like 20% of your capabilities. Normally, you put like 90% of your maximum speed as assistant training. So it's a safer way to do that. And we also, okay, so before moving to the advanced control, we go to explain the towing factor. So the towing factor is a feature we designed to allow you to make sure the safety and efficiency in overspeed training. It changed the acceleration of the motor. So you can see three different lines with soft, medium, and hard with this velocity at the time. So for the soft towing factor, it allows you to have a gentle start. So it allows you to walk in to that overspeed training. And the medium, which gives, well, in between. So it is a little bit harder than soft, but less than hard. So for the hard, it is like a full speed training right from the start. So we noticed like for many people previously using the overspeed training, the device they use is putting them too hard. It is not it's not reality, right? So people is need steps by step to accelerate. So if you pull them too hard for the first few steps, either you got some injuries or the people got to put too much force against that at first few steps, and then for the rest, they don't have force to continue the training. So that's the factor we designed. So for now, we only have three levels. Maybe later, we will introduce more levels. And then we also have the advanced settings for overspeed as well. So it is a ramp curve. So we allow you to put in 10 different lines to customize your own speed curve. This is also designed for the safety, and second is for a more reliable training, overspeed training. So in this case, you can set up the speed based on the distance. So for example, 5 meters, you want to achieve, let's say 2.5 meter per second, and next five, you want to achieve like 10 and, and blah, blah. And I think that's one can. So basically, you can use the normal mode to test your speed curve. And then you can go back to this page to input all the settings you want. So it gives you a more reliable assistance during the training. Okay. So for the data and the report, so T-PAEX can collect for measure data, velocity, acceleration, force, and power. And then we use all these major parameters or metrics to calculate and evaluate like the peak, the RMS, So many customers was wondering what is RMS is. So it is root mean square, which is well, it's quite similar way you use to use with average. But in when you calculating the RMS, you actually use square uh, you square it first and do the square root. So if you have positive and negatives, you always get a numbers. So if you simply average like +1 and -1, you will get a 0. So that's why we choose to use RMS to represent the average. And time to the peak and distance to the peak, I have already explained previously. And then in the report, you can also select different data. And on the real-time graph, we allowed you to point on the graph. So you will get an X coordinate and a Y coordinate, which refers, well, the Y coordinate might be time or the distance, and the X coordinate will be velocity, acceleration, force, and power. And then there's a more advanced evaluation. So you can do that manually because many people asking about like the step frequency, step length, ground contact time, etc., the balance between left and right. We haven't got this function already, and now in the software, we are still finding a way that can display it more clear to our customers. So here's a way you can manually do that. So for each peak, which means it is the instance of your ground contact. So the left and right is like in orders, left and right, left and right. And the step frequency could be the time difference between the same colors. And you can calculate that manually. And the step length is the distance between the same colors. And many people ask about the ground contact time. So for the device like us, it's very hard to contact ground contact time because it is very hard to detect like the time in the air, right? So the easier ways to do that is you can simply calculate the time between different colors, and then you minus a time constant as an error estimation, right? So as an estimation, for example, 0.2 seconds or 0.3 seconds. So you estimate it's the time you are in the air, and you just delete that, and the rest is the ground contact time. And then T-PAEX can also provide a comparative report. So you can select two reports and then you can compare them. So for the first section is the summary section. So it is just like the single session report I just introduced. But here you will get some red numbers. So the red numbers indicate this value is 20% larger than the other one. So you can very quickly find out the difference between two sessions. And also we got a radar diagrams, so it's get a better visualization of your average and peak between two different sessions. And third one is the real-time comparison. So we will put two sessions on the same graph, so you can compare the curve based on that. Okay, so I think pretty much that's it for the functionality wise. So uh yes. So you can put some ch question in the chat box. So any question you want to ask, so I will have a look and try to answer you. So, or is there anything you want me to explain more? You can let me know so I can go back to the slide and to explain that again. Okay, let's answer this one by one. So first is from Shane. Is there any way to get real-time data or in the report take specific splits? So uh, this one is we are planning to do that, and I think it might go to the patch for February or March. So we are doing that. Currently, we don't have the split now, but we are planning to do that. What comes with a standard order of T-PAEX device? So for a standard T-PAEX device, it'll come with the device itself, a tablet, a belt, and like the chargers and etc. So we also have a package of T-PAEX plus the overspeed training. So that one will have an overspeed kit inside as well. For the customized resistance curve, yes. We are planning to do that because we are receiving a lot of feedbacks about putting multiple points for the resistance side. So we have already have that function for the overspeed. So we just move that function to the resistance side. So it allows you to put more points for the resistance, like change the resistance in the normal mode. For the raw data, all the raw data is saved in the tablet. You can use the USB to connect the tablet with your laptop to extract all the raw data as well as the PDF version report. Okay, so you can use this one um, for retracting, right? So you can change the rack speed here. So when you can put the rack speed to, for example, 2 meter per second, or if it's faster, like 2.5 meter per second, it will help your the cable coming back very fast. So, and also, I do not recommend it like you use this device with totally zero resistance on that. Because the cord is like the cable is swinging in the air. So you at least need to put like 1 kilogram or 2 kilograms to maintain the resistance on the cable. Otherwise, the data will be a little bit off accuracy. And also, I don't recommend it to use the calibration settings because I think the calibration setting is constant speed. So you can just set up the rack speed in the normal mode. It will change the speed when you're going back. Okay. For the isokinetic mode, we are not planning to do that. The reason is to do the isokinetic kinetic mode will require um, a big power of the device. We can achieve certain level of isokinetic, but we cannot satisfy all kind of isokinetic, and it may cause some dangerous when you're using that. Will a cloud version free to email or text their time? Okay, so yeah, we are planning to launch our cloud, I think in March or April. Yeah, we are doing that. And after that, you are allowed to download the cloud from download data from the cloud. But for the cloud server for the cloud service, we will charge the fees based on the usage of that. So that's it. The Apex strength units. So actually, that the T-Apex stress platform. Let's see. It is you can use that as a flying wheel disc. So we have three different inertial disc come with that, and also we have a special disc. So you can attach the T-Apex with the special disc. So the resistance will comes from the T-Apex, so it's controllable, and um, you can control the both sides, the assistance and the resistance. So in convert, it's up and down, and then you can receive the data from that. Is is there ability or to get the app on our phone Samsung for charging the speed? That one we are also considering because I think in US or in Europe the majority of the phone is iOS version, right? So the version we are doing for the tablets, the Android tablets, so it will take some times, but we're considering that. And also, I think after we have the cloud, maybe we have a easier way to just drag down the data from the cloud. So just like a displacement of the data. Tablet holder, we don't have tablet holder in the standard package. You can purchase that from the Amazon. And I think I can share the standard of that. For the heat and sound, I don't think it is a big problem. I think the maximum heat we can go up to is like 40 or 45 degrees C. So, well, if you have some protection on that, like umbrella or something, I think it should be better in the summer times. And for the minimum temperature, it can go down to -20. Yeah, so isotonic mode should be used for the special disk when you attach to the Strands platform. For the iOS device, yeah, we are considering that, but it takes some times. Maybe later, like the second or third semester of the year, season of the year. For the discount rates for academic institution performance research, currently we don't have that. Sorry about that. Yeah. What about Android phones? Is an Android tab just need access for app? Well, you can install that in your Android phones, but since the screen size is different, so the UI might be a little bit mixed. But you can try that. We haven't yet tried that. But it's you can install that in on your Android tablet or Android phones. New battery or spare part, you can place it on the website. We haven't yet put all the parts on the website. So for the batteries, if you need a new batteries, you just place it on the website, and then we just ship it to your place. Okay, so any more questions? Yeah, please. So okay, so we got our website. Yeah, that's a good question. So let me just stop the sharing and let's go to our website just in a second. So on our website, there's a called Help Center, a section called Help Center. So here, software and app update. So we upload all the software and app on that. So each package will include software for the app and also software for the T-PAEX. So you can download from that. And then for the Android systems, you just jack in the APK and then install in your phone. And the other things you mentioned about the how to install everything. We got another videos here. This videos gives you all the tutorials about how to updating the app and device step by step. So you can just simply follow this YouTube video, and I think you should be fine. Okay, app is not on the play. Okay. To ship into Europe, it depending on which countries, but normally it takes I think it's 3 weeks to 4 weeks to ship to the Europe. Well, using the T app, well, we have a lot of different applications like Chinese national teams, I think Poland national teams, Nike team, or and also a lot of universities. But you can check with the Instagrams, and I think anything we can publicly share, we have all put on our Instagrams. Will there be a Zoom for TFX? Yeah. If you're personally interested in that, I think you can arrange a private Zoom meeting with me as so the link we previously shared. And also for the next session, we are planning for the next session, like what is the information we are going to deliver for the next live stream. So you can email us like what you are interested in and what you want to hear about during the live stream. So maybe we'll prepare for that. I think so for the last, I'm going to share some use case. Well, yeah, that's definitely our planning. So I think for in the future for the live streams, we are going to invite more peoples like top level coaches explaining their views of using that and also how they're conducting their trainings. Yes. And also, I think we are going to build up a community, I think well, by end of the second season, so around June, July. So we will create like well, either a Facebook group or something similar to that. So people can share their protocols of training and also their experience of training there. So all of the users with T-PAEX, they can communicate with each other. So we want to create a platform like that. I think pretty soon, like in July or June. Any more questions? I want a force plate. Sorry, what does that mean? Force plate. Do you mean the flying wheel disc, the flying wheel platform, or what? Force plate? Oh, oh, you mean oh, all right. I got you. I got you. Okay, false play. I don't think it's well, it is different product. Sorry. We don't have this product in our product line. And and I think there's many good brand of false plate equipment, so you can have a look about that. Well, it's secret now. I will let you know when we have the limit to release to the public. But we are doing something new. Yeah, I think yeah, okay. Zoom change. I just answered that questions like for the additional Zoom change. Um we are doing that for next patch, like for March patch or February patch. So yes, as long as you have the curve, right, and you got the wrap, you can track down for each legs. I think that's also very useful. Automatic respelt. Well, to be honest, we were not planning to do that. The reason is first, because we have this overspeed settings. So in most time, you don't necessarily to release the bell. The second is in the package, we got easy setup like the quick release magic stick stuff. So you can release by just rip off the magic stick. Well, as long as you can slow down, you don't need to release it, right? And also because we have this overspeed kit, so you will have a longer slowing down zone. So the reason why Tenet need a quick release spell is because you cannot pass through the device, right? But since we have a longer slowing down zone, so for most time you can slow it down by yourself. So you don't need to you don't necessarily to release that. Oh, for the force velocity profile, right? I think that is the part I can do that now because I don't think I put it very clear. So basically, you will have to record the data. Let me go to the normal mode side. Okay, here, here, okay. So here is where you can record all the data for the normal mode. We will upload everything on our YouTube channels and do some edit on that. So make everything a little smooth. So basically for the force velocity profile, you will start with the resistance from, for example, 3 kilograms, as I said previously. So 3 kilograms, 4 kilograms, 5 kilograms, etc. until like 15 or 14, something like that. So you have a very dramatic speed loss. So for each one, you set up like 1 kilograms resistance here, and the training distance could be 20 kilograms or 30 kilograms, depending on if you notice a speed loss during the training session. And then you record everything, like for example, 3 kilograms, 20 meters, and then you press start to let your athletes go. And here, the speed range, so for every time you record, first the resistance you input, like 3 kilograms, and then the speed range, the maximum speed, which something like 5 meters per second or something like that, and change to the power side to record the maximum power. And then you repeat all these sessions for 7 or 8 times until like 15 kilograms. And then you gather all the data and input either in the Excel you have or in our app, there's a beta version of plotting the force velocity profile. So you select all the data all the testing data you did previously, and then generate a force velocity profile. Yeah, so you can either you can manually take down all the data and put it into the Excel form, or you can just do that in the tablet. But just in case the one we plotted in the tablet is lit well, because you need to best curve the curve from all the data, but in the app we didn't do that. We are still working on that to gather a good parameters to for the best fit curve. So for now, in the tablet, we just line up all the points. So the point that the line might not be a straight line, as you see from other force velocity profile. But you can get almost like 90% of the information from their diagrams. When doing historical data, will there be a way to sort the data differently? What does that mean? By date. Oh, okay. So, well, I think you can select the data. Oh, instead of meter per second. Mm, I'm a little bit confused about what you said. Do you mean in plotting the force velocity profile or what? Yeah, you can apply that. Oh, well, let me just put it on mute.
Hello.
Hey, hi,
Hey, hey.
hey.
So I think I can't remember if it's the force velocity profile or uh something like that. But I know when looking at the historical data, when it sorts it, it only sorts it by meters per second. So there's no way to like select if you want like date or if you want it by like normal or overspeed because like when I first looked at it, well when I tried to combine like more than one rep, so when you're looking at the historical data, you can combine like all the reps that a particular athlete did. And if you pick all of the reps, it only does it by meters per second. So say like if you have overspeed in there with normal, like since overspeed, the meters per second is gonna be faster than the normal, is gonna have the overspeed like like in there first, and then whatever meters per second is next is gonna put that in there. So when it charts it on the graph, it kind of looks um it kind of looks like there's like radical movement in the chart. So if you could sort it by date, then it would show like a better drop, or if you can select like which reps are normal and which reps are overspeed, without having to select every single one. So if you select every single one, but you can see in there which one's overspeed, then it would give a better reading of the historical data. So you can see like on what date they ran like a certain speed, or if they're getting faster, or if they're getting slower. Does that make sense?
Uh, well, I think we got two different reports. So first is the historical report or trend report. In that report, when you are selecting all the data to provide that report, you can do different filter, like first different mode, overspeed, normal, isotonic, etc. And second, you can select different distance, like 10 meter, 20 meters, or what. And then all the data is plotted from the date. So it's like day by date. So I think what you talked about might be the force velocity profile, but for the force velocity profile, you need to make sure you select this correct data set, right? So you cannot select like overspeed set and the isotonic to generate a force velocity profile. Yeah. So yeah, so if you want to have a historical trend, you can have a trend report. So for that, you can select like before entering that, you can select you can use the filter to filter correct data set to do that. Okay. Um, yeah. So I think that's it for today. Is there any last minute questions? For trend, how many reps can you compare? I think there's no limit for that, actually. Yeah, the more you select, like the more, let's say, more narrow the point will be. Yeah. All right. Okay, so cool. So I think that's that it for today. And thanks for joining this live stream and this is our first time doing that. So if you have yeah, Happy New Year. I think this is the third day of the Chinese New Year. So yeah, Happy New Year. Yeah, and if you guys have any like suggestions or feedbacks about the this live stream or any information you expected for the next one, you can just email us and we will collect all the informations and try to do a better one next time. All right. So yeah, thanks everyone and Bye. Have a good day then. Bye bye.